Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, January 31. The state of public emergency in St. James has been extended for another 90 days. Yesterday's passage of the Emergency Powers Continuance Resolution in the House of Representatives also means the Emergency Powers Regulations will remain in effect until May 2. In tabling the resolution, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the security forces would continue to exercise powers to detain, search, seize, and control public gatherings and the movement of people.
These additional powers allow the security forces, through a suite of operations, to bring the high levels of violence and murders under control, and also to prevent the movement of weapons.
Prime Minister Holness says the extension is necessary to capitalize on the successes being made under the operation. So far, 51 persons have been arrested and charged for various offenses. 10 firearms and several rounds of ammunition have also been recovered. The Prime Minister says special attention will be paid to murders, scamming, extortion, illegal importation of guns, drugs, and uncustomed goods.
And we have mobilized all law enforcement agencies to deal with that. The strategy can't be simply to focus on the street-level criminals, that there is high-level facilitation, particularly when you start to talk about the economic crimes.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister is assuring the diaspora, regional and international partners that the country is not in a state of chaos. He says the steps being taken by the government is in support of law and order.
We have taken a deliberate, strategic, instrumental, well-planned action to ensure that law and order and the rule of law is preserved.
National Security Minister Robert Montego shared a similar sentiment while speaking with JIS News.
St. James is open for business, St. James is safe, and we are encouraging persons both here in Jamaica and overseas to come on down and pay us a visit, because it is the new norm to feel secure in tourist destination, and there's no place, absolutely no place as beautiful as Montego Bay.
Government has delivered on its promise to provide additional resources to preserve the human rights of persons detained under the state of public emergency in St. James. The Department of Correctional Services has made 50 spaces available at the Horizon Remand Center to accommodate detainees. Minister of National Security Robert Montego says an additional 309 spaces will be made available at a newly developed wing at the Tamarind Farm Correctional Center.
It is the intention of this government that whether you're an inmate or you're a detainee, there are certain minimum standards that we must treat each other with as human beings, and we are determined so to do.
Minister Montego was speaking at Friday's passing out ceremony for 67 correctional officers at the Carl Rattray Staff College for Human Resource Development and Training in St. Anne. He also announced the start of a program to provide proper waiting areas to accommodate visitors of inmates in the island's correctional institutions. A waiting area has been completed at the Richmond Correctional Center, and work has started on one at Tamarind Farm. The ministry has also rehabilitated the Tower Street waiting area.
We must show respect to our fellow Jamaicans, because we must not punish the family, we must only punish the one that fell afoul of the law.
While at the passing out ceremony, Minister Montego also announced that amendments are being made to the Corrections Act. The amendments are geared at addressing certain deficiencies in the administration of rehabilitation and reintegration services. It's hoped that the amendments will also continue the drive to reduce the repeat offender rate, which has moved from 47% to 42%.
One of the things I am desirous of seeing in the new Commissioned Act is to make certain electronic devices illegal within prisons, and is also to establish proper communication systems to allow inmates to make phone calls and families to be able to communicate with them. We live in the modern world. We must treat people with dignity.
The amendment of the Corrections Act will see to the institution of remedial learning for inmates who cannot read or write. Minister Montego also expressed the hope that persons convicted of predial larceny will be sent to Tamarind Farm or Richmond Correctional Centers so they can experience farming. The Ministry of National Security has meanwhile signaled its intent to boost the mobility of the Jamaica Constabulary Force with the procurement of motorcycles. Portfolio Minister Robert Montego says 53 600cc motorcycles will be handed over to the Police Force's Traffic Division in February.
We will also be taking possession of 90 trail bikes, Your Worship. And they are specifically for pre-day larceny and for cell phone recovery. So it is my belief that when we hand them to the Commissioner, at least 3 or 4 bikes will go to each division.
The minister was speaking Tuesday as he handed over 6 motor vehicles to the St. Thomas Police. 430 motor vehicles were purchased for the force last year. Minister Montego says the vehicles have been fitted with tracking devices and other monitoring and management systems.
In addition, the system also tells us at any time that car is moving what speed you're driving at. And it also tells you when the car is up for service. Because we have to now begin to practice preventative maintenance.
And finally, the Ministry of National Security has pledged $1 million to the Carl Rattray Staff College of the Department of Correctional Services. The donation will see to the purchase of equipment to establish a gym at the institution. National Security Minister Robert Montego says this is part of the ministry's 5-pillar crime-fighting strategy. He says work is also being done to ensure that all courses offered by the Carl Rattray Staff College are accredited by the University Council of Jamaica. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.